Hello everyone, welcome to week 3 Tuesday. So today we have lamb chops with mint chimichurri sauce and wild rice. This is a blend of wild rice, but we decided to add an eggplant relish to the dish. So we'll have lamb chops with mint chimichurri sauce, wild rice and eggplant relish. So let's talk about the ingredients for the eggplant relish first. So we need some eggplant. These are fennel. So I added a little bit of fennel and some onions. I have, this is raisins which is soaked in water. I have some black olives. I have some red chilies, ginger, garlic and some fennel seeds, tomatoes and roasted pine nuts. So that's all for the relish. What we will do is we'll cook it in a heavy bottom pan with a lid. First on the oven, and then we'll put it in the, first on the stove top, and then we'll put it in the oven for about an hour. So we'll start that first because it takes a long time. Then we'll stew the wild rice. The wild rice, we have a blend. We need about 6.5 cups of water approximately. So this is 2 cups of rice and 6.5 cups of water. We'll drain it once it's fully cooked. And for the salad, I have some onions, carrots, red bell peppers, some apples, some cranberries, and then we have some arugula and pecans. This is roasted and chopped. And then we made a simple vinegar with some shallots and some shallots, red wine, apple cider vinegar and olive oil. We will season the lamb chops with some salt. That will draw out a little bit of water. I'll put it in the fridge, just salt on both sides, put it in the fridge for about 40 minutes, so that in that time the relish will be cooked and the rice will be cooked. So, and we'll come back and we'll cook the lamb chops. So just so we'll put just salt on both sides, really heavy salting. So what it does is it will draw out some of the water to make it more tastier and certainly, you know, easier for us to cook. So that's it. I will keep this open so that the refrigerator will draw out some of the water. The cold will draw out some of the water, and then we'll pat it dry and then we'll pan fry it. So that's for today. So let's start cooking the relish first. Let's start cooking. So I have a cast iron Dutch pan that has a cover heating up over medium heat. So, and then I'll put about a tablespoon, a little bit more of olive oil to this, and I'll put the fennel seeds in. At this point, oh, it smells of fennel here. At this point, I'll put the onions. And the fennel. A little bit of salt. And a little bit of pepper. And we'll sweat this for a few minutes. I just need to sweat it. I don't need to cook it too much because we'll cook it in the oven so it will leave its juices. So make sure you don't touch the pan because the handle is cast iron. And normally, you want to keep your towel on top of the handle so that to remind you that it's hot. So now we'll add the garlic, the ginger and the chilies. And I will keep on seasoning as I go along, so that the seasoning is in layers. So at this point, I want to put in the tomatoes. I will not put any water to this, just cook the tomatoes. Cook the tomatoes for a little bit, and then we will add the eggplant to this and the olives. So as you can see, this has turned a little bit of color. So it's turned a little bit brown, and then to this I'm going to add about a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. And cook it down. So this will give it a little bit of acidity to the dish. And at this point I want to add the olives. And the eggplants. We'll let the eggplants sweat for a little bit. Should reduce. We want to season this. So this is kosher salt, so I always use kosher salt. And then a little bit of pepper. I think this requires a little bit more olive oil because you want it to sweat, so maybe just a tad bit of olive oil would do really well here. So let's put in a little bit more of the olive oil. Let this sweat for a little bit and then we'll come back to this. So for the rice, I've heated up a pan with a little bit of oil. I'll put half of this onion. To this I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Always add a little bit of salt to the rice so that the rice is seasoned. And so at this point I'm going to add the rice. This is the wild rice mix that I bought. Just saute it for a few minutes. At this point, we'll put the water. So this is 6.5 cups of water and bring it to a boil. So put it on high heat. And let it come to a boil. This is boiling. At this point, we are going to turn down the heat to low, and then we'll put the lid on, and then we'll come back in about 15 minutes to check the doneness of the rice. If it hasn't cooked at that point, we'll keep it for a few more minutes. Coming back to this relish, at this point we will add the raisins to this along with the water that it's soaked in. So it gives a little bit of water to the relish. It will cook faster, and then what we will do is we will season this. This is not cooked yet, so we will cook it for a little bit more, let the water come out, and then we'll put it in the oven. At this point we're going to put it in the oven, but first we'll put the pine nuts in here. We'll mix it. And then we'll cover it and put it in the oven for 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, we will open the lid and cook it for another 15 minutes. This is at 350 degrees. So let it cook for 45 minutes and then another 15 minutes with the lid open. Boiled rice is done. So this is completely cooked. So what we'll do is we'll drain this, and then I tasted it. It needs a little bit of seasoning. We'll season it, and then we'll mix the salad in this. At this point, we'll add all of the vegetables and other ingredients. So that's your cranberry. That's the onions, bell peppers. The rice is hot, so this will wilt the vegetables a little bit. And then that's a carrot, apples, and then that's the arugula. I've mixed all the vegetables in here. So now I'm going to mix the vinaigrette that I had prepared. And then the nuts. So mix it thoroughly, and we'll keep this. So the hot rice will cook the vegetable a little bit, and it will mix well with the vinaigrette. And so let's taste it and see if we need a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. You know, looking really good, colorful and vibrant. So let's taste it. It needs a little bit of salt. Let's taste it again. So it has a sweet note from the cranberries, the bright arugula, the bite from the carrots. This is really good. So we'll let it marinate in this in the vinaigrette for till we're ready to serve. 45 minutes are over. So what we are going to do is we are going to remove the lid and let it cook for another 15 minutes. At this point I want to show you how to prep the lamb. So let's see that. So as you remember, I had salted both sides. So what I want to do is I want to rub off all the moisture that has come out, and then we will cook this. So we'll use some oil to cook it, but finish it off with some butter and flavor it with rosemary and garlic. So you want to really clean the water. So we want it to be as dry as possible. Okay, so this is it. So let's go and start cooking this. Keep the pan over medium. I don't want to have it very high. What this will do is it will cook for a little bit longer, but it will give a better crust. I'm not seasoning these with pepper, so I don't want to cook the pepper. So what we'll do is we will finish it off with the pepper. So we'll see that. Put a little bit of oil. And we'll put a couple of lamb chops in here. So I added rosemary, garlic and some butter. So I'll baste this, and this will give a beautiful aroma to the lamb. So we want to cook it till medium. So I want to turn this over. So I'm basting this second side as well with garlic and some rosemary. I just want to put the garlic up there because otherwise it will. So I want to check whether this is done. This is like medium, so that's what I want from a lamb chop. So these are done. These are fully cooked, so we'll rest these and then we'll give a second batch. So I want to put a little bit of pepper on top of this. So this will not give you that burnt peppery smell, but a really fresh one. I'll turn this over. and I'll let this rest and then for 5-10 minutes before we eat it. Wild rice salad is done. This is the chimichurri sauce and this is the relish, the eggplant relish. And these are all the lamb chops. So how I want to serve it is I want to place these lamb chops on the side like this. And then there are some garlic cloves that are fried in butter. So I want to put those there. And that's it. That's the lamb with the chimichurri sauce and the tomato relish. I hope you like my videos. If you like them, please share it with your friends. Put some comments in for encouragement. But thank you very much again for watching.